Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. So I got a chance to look at Chocolatito, aka Roman Gonzalez versus Juan Francisco Estrada. And I got to tell you one thing about me being a dude that cover boxing, that follows the sport and, covers live boxing events. You know, the best thing about covering, high profile fights, sometimes just low profile fights or mid profile fights. The best thing about that is you don't have to listen to the color commentary or what you would call the announcers, because at the end of the day, we all know sometimes they have a motive, they have an objective, they have an agenda. A lot of times, even if the fight isn't close or that close, they may try to call the fight to make it look like what you would call the money guy, the star of the fight. Even if he's falling behind or not doing good, they'll make it look like he's doing better than what he really is. And this is just one of those cases. I looked at that fight closely, and to be honest with you, looking at the fight was easy to score, to be honest with you. I had Estrada clearly winning that fight. You can make an argument that he won the fight 9 rounds to 3 or 8 rounds to 4. I thought that Estrada clearly won the first 7 rounds. So to me, I thought he was clearly in cruise control unless something catastrophic happened, as if he would get dropped like multiple times. So to me, if you win the first 7 rounds, as long as nothing disastrous happens, like you get dropped 2 or 3 times, in the last, 5 rounds of the fight, that's pretty much the only way you're going to lose. You pretty much won the fight, especially if it's a 12-round fight. So with that being said, I thought Estrada clearly won that fight. I had Estrada winning that fight 8 rounds to 4. I thought Roman Gonzalez won like maybe 4 rounds straight, or you can make an argument that the 11th round could have went either way. Could have been an even round, could have been a swing round for either of the two men. But I don't see how you could have had that fight a draw. I thought Estrada clearly was winning that fight. But that's what happens when you have, announcers that's told to call the fight in favor of one particular guy, so maybe they can push forward maybe another go around. I think even in a 4th fight, based off how Roman Gonzalez looked, and this particular fight, the 3rd fight, Roman Gonzalez looked like he was out of that fight, like his mind was somewhere else. He didn't get it going until like the 8th round. And he did well. But even in the rounds that you could say that he won, Estrada still was getting off some nice shots, getting off some nice combinations. And that's how Estrada won the fight, with a very good, manageable up and down attack. And he did very well fighting off the ropes. So this was just clearly a case of him outboxing Gonzalez for the second out of three fights. And that was just basically it. Now, Roman Gonzalez himself, I got to say this about Roman Gonzalez, and a lot of people not going to like it. I do, to a certain degree, think that Roman Gonzalez was a hype job. And I remember in his heyday when, people were, boosting this guy up. I thought him and Triple G were 2 of the most overrated fighters that they were trying to market as like number 1, number 2, or pound for pound fighters. And that's just the bottom line. I just never thought much of Roman Gonzalez. I just thought there was just a need to try to hype up and elevate, in particularly a non-black fighter, to possibly pound for pound number 1 status, or at least in the argument of number 1 pound for pound status. I never saw that in him. I never saw that in Lomachenko, and I never saw that in Triple G, and I just got to keep it a buck. I think Roman Gonzalez will be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. I think he's a good fighter, but where the problem is they tried to force him to be a great fighter, a sensational fighter, a elite fighter, and Roman Gonzalez was never an elite fighter. But instead of us celebrating and talking about what a warrior Roman Gonzalez is, we need to give more credit to the guy that beat him twice, Estrada, based off the fact that Estrada was able to beat this so-called legend twice. Well, what does that say about Estrada? Shouldn't we elevate him due to the fact in 3 attempts, Roman Gonzalez didn't get it done? So let's just keep it a buck. That's all I got to say. Let me know what you think. This is your boy Town Biz. I'm out.